Welcome children. Let's start with a new chapter. That's chapter 6, The Making of a Scientist, from your book Footprints Without Feet. And Richard E. Bright has received the Searles Scholar Award and the Sharing Plough Award for Biochemistry and Molecular Biology. It was his fascination for butterflies, and I would say passionate about something, to be fascinated about something that helps you in moving ahead and reaching at the top in the field that you love to move ahead. So this fascination for butterflies opened the world of science to Richard E. Bright. Now let's see, how did a book become a turning point in Richard E. Bright's life? That is how a book changed the life of Richard, and how did his mother help him in it. Now at the age of 22, a former, that is previous, Scout of the Year excited the scientific world with a new theory on how cells work. Richard H. Bright and his college roommate explained the theory in an article called Proceedings of the National Academy of Science. It was for the first time that this important scientific journal had ever published the work of college student. तो मे बी पहली बार ऐसे हुआ था कि एक बहुत ही important scientific journal ने किसी college student का काम publish किया हो. In sports, it would be like making the big leagues at the age of 15 and hitting a home run your first time at bat. For Richard E. Bright, it was the first in a long string of achievements in science and other fields. And it all started with butterflies. An only child, E. Bright, that is the only child of the parents, he grew up north of Reading, Pennsylvania. There wasn't much I could do there, he said. It was countryside. Countryside in English literature you would call village side. So he said that I couldn't do much over here, and I certainly couldn't play football or baseball with a team of one. एक अकेला लड़का football या baseball certainly नहीं खेल पाएगा. But there was one thing that I could do, and that was collect things, and that he did. And did he, like that is, it is said that he did and did he ever. That is, then it followed, it became a passion, and it continued along with him, that is collection of things. Beginning in kindergarten, E. Bright collected butterflies with the same dedication, determination that has marked all his activities. So all his activities in his life he did with lots of love and passion and dedication. Same in kindergarten also, in the beginning he used to do the same. With lots of determination he used to collect the butterflies. He also collected rocks and fossils and coins. He became an eager astronomer too, sometimes stargazing all night. Right? Now, so here follows the meaning. Home run in the game of baseball means that when the batter scores a run after running safely around all the bases and back to the home plate without stopping. A ball hit out of the playing field is also called home run. So there the boys must be knowing, and many girls also must be knowing the meaning of it. And getting a paper published at the age of 15 in a scientific journal here is compared to scoring a home run while batting for the first time. And meaning, former, that is as I told you, previous, scout, that is a member of the Scout Association or some such same organization. Proceedings, a published report of a set of meetings or a conference. जब कोई रिपोर्ट मीटिंग के रिलेटेड पब्लिश हो तो उसको हम कहते हैं प्रोसीडिंग. जर्नल, दैट इज अ न्यूज़पेपर और मैगजीन दैट डील्स विद अ पर्टिकुलर सब्जेक्ट और प्रोफेशनल एक्टिविटी. मेकिंग द बिग लीग्स, दैट इज इन द फील्ड ऑफ टफ कॉम्पिटिशन एंड हाई रिवॉर्ड्स, द लार्जेस्ट ऑफ फॉर्मर्स ऑफ हिज काइंड. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, विनिंग एन ऑस्कार पुट्स द एक्ट्रेस इन द बिग लीग. मतलब कोई बहुत ही डिफिकल्ट या टफ कॉम्पिटिटिव फील्ड में कहीं पे रिवॉर्ड पा लेना, हाईएस्ट रिवॉर्ड, दैट इज कॉल्ड मेकिंग द बिग लीग्स. फॉसिल, यू मस्ट बी नोइंग द रिमेन्स और इम्प्रेशन ऑफ अ प्री हिस्टोरिक प्लांट और एनिमल. एम्बेडेड, दैट इज फिक्स्ड इन रॉक्स. Astronomer, of course, an expert in or student of astronomy. So please go through the meanings after each and every part that I have provided over here. Now let's see the explanation of that part. Richard E. Bright, along with his roommate, surprised the world at the young age of 22 when they explained the theory on how cells work in a paper published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Science. तो यहाँ पे रिचर्ड इब्राइट ने अपने रूममेट के साथ वर्ल्ड को सरप्राइज कर दिया था एट द यंग एज ऑफ 22 एंड जब उन्होंने थियोरी एक्सप्लेन की रिलेटेड टू हाउ सेल्स वर्क और ये पब्लिश हुआ था उनका इन प्रोसीडिंग्स ऑफ द नेशनल एकेडमी ऑफ साइंस. दिस वैल्यूएबल मैगजीन हैड पब्लिश द वर्क ऑफ कॉलेज स्टूडेंट्स फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम. तो ये मैगजीन ने शायद पहली बार किसी कॉलेज स्टूडेंट का काम पब्लिश किया था. फॉर रिचर्ड इट वॉज वन ऑफ द मैनी अचीवमेंट्स दैट ही अचीव लेटर इन हिज लाइफ. और बाद में तो ऐसे काफ़ी अचीवमेंट्स रिचर्ड इब्राइट के लाइफ में उन्होंने किए और ये वन ऑफ द मैनी अचीवमेंट्स था. ही सेज दैट ऑल दिस क्यूरियोसिटी स्टार्टेड विद बटरफ्लाइज. Ebright grew up in Pennsylvania and was the only child of his parents. He could have not done much there as there were very less people. Population बहुत कम थी उस एरिया में. He says that he could do at least one thing alone and that was collecting things as he had no friends to play football or baseball with him. He had begun collecting butterflies, rocks, fossils, coins from the time he was in kindergarten. He also used to keep on staring at the stars and sometimes the whole night as he was interested in studying astronomy. Now here what are we going to do is that the textual part I am going to explain you in a simple format, but you go through this textbook reading thoroughly, right? तो relate कर पाओगे तुम. And from the first he had a driving curiosity along with a bright mind. पहले से ही बहुत ही curious थे, bright mind था. He had a mother who encouraged his interest in learning. She took him on trips and bought him telescopes, microscopes, cameras, mounting materials and many other equipments that helped him in many other ways. I was his only companion until he started school. जब तक कि वो स्कूल नहीं स्टार्ट हुआ तब तक तो before he started going to school तब तक mother says that I was my child's companion, the only companion. After that I would bring him home some friends. कई बार मैं अपने उसके फ्रेंड्स को घर बुला लेती so that he would not feel lonely. But at night we just did things together. Richie was my whole life after his father died, when Richie was just in 3rd standard. She and her son spent almost every evening at the dining room table. If we didn't have any things to do, I would find some work for him. Not physical work, but learning things. तो अगर कुछ करने के लायक कुछ रहता नहीं और उस दिन अगर मेरा बेटा फ्री होता तो कुछ ना कुछ मैं उसके लिए लर्निंग की कुछ चीज़ें दे देती, फिजिकल वर्क नहीं देती. He liked it. He wanted to learn more and more every time. And yes, he used to learn. He did. He earned top grades in school. On everyday things, he was just like any other kid. तो पढ़ाई में होशियार, bright mind, always passionate about collecting different things in life. But when there was nothing to do, like no studies and nothing and all, तो बाकी के दिनों में तो he was just like any other common child. By the time he was in 2nd standard, Ebright had collected all 25 species of butterflies found around his hometown, right? That probably would have been the end of my butterfly collection, he said. But then my mother got me a children's book called The Travels of Monarch X. And that book we told how monarch butterflies migrate to Central America. And that book opened the world of science to this eager young collector. That is what we say up till now. जो बच्चे की हम बात कर रहे हैं उसके लिए एक नया वर्ल्ड खुल चुका था by this new book gifted by the mother. Go through the meanings. So explanation. Ebright had always been curious to learn new things, had a sharp mind. Mother used to encourage him to learn. He used to take him on learning trips, buy telescope from him, other instruments that would help him in learning new things. Mother was the only friend of this child till he went to school. After that he started going to school. Mother used to bring his friends home. He and his mother used to stay together at night and do and learn things together. Ebright, who was nicknamed as Richie by the mother, was her whole life and support system after father died when he was just in 3rd grade. They used to spend most of the evenings together, and if he didn't have anything to do, mother would find some work for him for learning. He used to like the learning work that his mother used to give him, as that was what he wanted to do. learn about more and more new things. He was a bright student as he used to score good marks in class, and he was regular in his daily work. By the time he was in second class, he already had collected about 25 species of butterflies that were found in the neighborhood. He thought that it would have been the end of his butterfly collection if his mother would not have got him a children's book called The Travel of Monarch Ants. And the book told how the monarch butterflies migrated to Central America, and this was the turning point for Ebright or Richie, as it turned his curiosity towards science. So you can go through the textual part, and yes, meanings too, but then the explanation. So at the end of the children's book, नहीं तो तुम्हारे लिए काफ़ी थोड़ा लेथार्जिक हो जाएगा, थोड़ा सा बोरिंग हो जाएगा कि टेक्स्ट बुक रीड करना फ्रॉम माई एंड एंड अगेन सिंपल फॉर्मेट एक्सप्लेनेशन. सो टेक्स्ट बुक रीड कर लो, जैसे अभी मैंने 2 पेज रीड किए, एंड एज सच वी मूव अहेड विद द सिंपल एक्सप्लेनेशन, जो तुम्हारे क्वेश्चन आंसर्स लर्निंग में काफ़ी हेल्प करेगा. बिकॉज अनटिल एंड अनलेस यू आर नॉट क्लियर विथ योर अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ द चैप्टर, क्वेश्चन आंसर लर्न करना डिफ़िकल्ट हो जाएगा. तो सिर्फ टेक्स्ट बुक रीड करोगे तो क्वेश्चन आंसर्स, मतलब टेक्स्ट बुक थ्रू दिस टेक्स्ट बुक लैंग्वेज शायद कई वर्ड ऐसे बीच में आएंगे तो तुम नहीं समझ पाओगे, या सम सेंटेंसेस. तो आफ्टर रीडिंग टेक्स्ट बुक, go through this simple explanation provided. Now at the end of the children's book that his mother had gifted him, the readers of the book were invited to help the study of butterfly migration. तो एंड ऑफ द बुक में ऐसे लिखा गया था कि जिन्होंने ये बुक रीड की है तो यू कैन कम एंड स्टडी अबाउट द बटरफ्लाई माइग्रेशन एंड हेल्प अस. तो ग्रुप में काम होगा. दे वर आस्क्ड टू टैग बटरफ्लाइज बाय डॉक्टर फ्रेडरिक, and he was at the university. This was held at the University of Toronto in Canada. Now Rich's mother wrote to the doctor, that is this Dr. Frederick, and soon he was attaching adhesive tags to the wings of the butterflies. Now the person who would find a butterfly with a tag was asked to send the tag to Dr. Frederick, that is Ncert. तो अब ये रिची की मॉम ने डॉक्टर फ्रेडरिक को लेटर लिखा दैट माई चाइल्ड विल बी अ पार्ट ऑफ दिस स्टडी एंड ऑल, स्टडी ऑफ बटरफ्लाई माइग्रेशन, एंड देन स्टार्टेड अ न्यू जर्नी इन द लाइफ ऑफ रिची. सो ही वॉज अटैचिंग टैग्स एंड ऑल द विंग्स ऑफ बटरफ्लाई दैट यूज टू फाइंड, और फिर बटरफ्लाई को छोड़ देते उड़ने के लिए. अब कहीं और जिनको भी ये बटरफ्लाई मिल जाता वॉज आस्क्ड टू सेंड द टैग टू डॉक्टर Frederick. Now the butterfly collecting season lasted for around 6 weeks. Then Ebright understood that if he kept on collecting butterflies one by one, he would not be able to collect many. So the next step that he took was that he decided to raise a flock of butterflies. There is lot many butterflies. He decided to raise them in his basement. अब उसने सोचा कि बटरफ्लाई के पीछे भागो, एक एक करके कलेक्ट करो, तो इससे अच्छा, और देन ही विल नॉट बी एबल टू कलेक्ट मैनी बटरफ्लाइज. तो चलो कुछ ऐसा करते हैं. तो एक नया स्टेप लिया उन्होंने कि अपने घर के बेसमेंट में उन्होंने बटरफ्लाइज को रेस करना शुरू किया. मतलब वहीं पे उनकी देखभाल होती उसके बेसमेंट में. ही यूज्ड टू कैच अ फीमेल बटरफ्लाई, कलेक्ट हिज एग्स, रेज देम, नर्चर देम इन हिज बेसमेंट थ्रू देयर प्रॉपर लाइफ साइकिल. बहुत ध्यान रखता हो. देन यूज्ड टू टैग द विंग्स ऑफ दिस बटरफ्लाइज एंड लेट देम फ्लाई अवे. There were thousands of monarchs in his basement growing in different life stages for many years. तो बहुत साल तक तो ये चला. Soon he started losing interest in tagging butterflies. फिर उसने सोचा बहुत सालों के बाद, यार ये तो थोड़ा बोरिंग हो रहा है, राइट. तो इंटरेस्ट कम होने लगा in tagging these butterflies, as it was very slow and tiring process. It also didn't get him much response. फिर ज़्यादा response भी नहीं मिलता था उसे. He said that out of the many butterflies that he tagged, only 2 could be recaptured by the people, and those 2, that is those TW2 also, that is TOO, right? So this will be doing in grammar. So only 2 could be recaptured by the people, और वो 2 भी, मतलब TOO, were not more than 75 miles away from his house. तो इसका तो कुछ मतलब हुआ ही नहीं. तो मतलब कि ये बटरफ्लाइज कहीं दूर तो जाते नहीं और उनके बारे में ज़्यादा स्टडी तो वो कर नहीं पाएंगे. सो देन इट सो हैपन दैट when he was in 7th standard he came to know what real science was. Just imagine 7th class में he started knowing about what real science was as he lost at a county science fair. मतलब जिस दिन एक कंपटीशन में उनकी हार हुई at county science fair, that time he came to know that science is not what I am doing, running after butterflies and collecting them and tagging and releasing them and all, but it was something very different. Yes, it was a sad feeling for him to see all other people winning something or the other, but he didn't win anything. He showed frog tissue slides under a microscope, but realized that all the winners had actually tried to perform an experiment and just not displaying anything. Some neat display, मस्त एकदम जटाक मटाक को डिस्प्ले कर लिया, प्रोजेक्ट दिखा दिया. That was not what the other winners had done. उन्होंने एफर्ट डाली थी दूसरे विनर्स ने. तब उसे पता चला कि सिर्फ नीट डिस्प्ले से कुछ नहीं होगा. साइंस इज़ वेरी डीप, समथिंग वेरी ग्रेट. सो देन ही एंटर्ड दे बिकॉज ही एक्चुअली केम टू नो वॉट रियल साइंस वॉज. ही हैड ऑलरेडी स्टार्टेड डेवलपिंग कॉम्पिटेटिव स्पिरिट इनसाइड हिम. और उस दिन से जिस दिन उनकी हार हुई, येस दैट वॉज ही फेल्ट सैड फॉर अ मोमेंट बट इट ओपन्ड अ न्यू वर्ल्ड फॉर हिम, राइट? Now real interest he started taking in it, and he had decided that he would be making a real project for the next year's competition. He thought and realized that he had maximum knowledge about the subject of insects, as he had been studying them for quite some time now. अब उन्होंने सोचा कि अब तो काफ़ी knowledge है मेरे पास about various subjects on insects which he had been studying since long time. He wrote to Dr. Ncert for ideas and he sent back a lot of ideas for his next year's project. फिर उन्होंने लेटर लिखा इन डॉक्टर को, फ्रेडरिक को, and about his ideas, and he also said that please provide me some ideas, and he sent back a lot of ideas for his next year's project also. So he remained busy with those ideas और बहुत सारे ideas भेजे गए रिची को, and वो लंबे टाइम तक बिजी भी रहे all throughout his high school. बहुत सारे prizes भी मिले, जीते भी काफ़ी कुछ. And in 8th class, he tried to find the reason of a viral disease that killed nearly all monarch caterpillars every few years. अब 8th standard में उन्होंने रीज़न फाइंड आउट करना स्टार्ट किया, कोशिश की कि चलो रीज़न फाइंड आउट करते हैं कि ये रीज़न ऑफ दैट वायरल डिजीज विच यूज टू किल दिस कैटरपिलर्स, monarch caterpillars. Ebright thought that the disease was being transmitted through beetles. So he started raising caterpillars in the presence of beetles. अब थोड़े टाइम के बाद उनको ये पता चला या ये सोचा उन्होंने, इट वॉज जस्ट हिज थॉट, कि शायद ये डिजीज ट्रांसमिट हो रही है टू दिस कैटरपिलर्स थ्रू बीटल्स. तो उन्होंने कैटरपिलर्स को बीटल्स के प्रेजेंस में ही बड़ा करना, रेस करना स्टार्ट किया, नर्चर करना स्टार्ट किया. बट इट वॉज ऑफ नो यूज. बट वेन ही शोड दैट ही हैड ट्राइड सच एन एक्सपेरिमेंट, ही वन समथिंग फॉर हिज प्रोजेक्ट. चलो इसमें कुछ फ़ायदा तो हुआ नहीं, इतना सारा करके कैटरपिलर और बीटल्स को एक ही जगह पे रेस करना, उनका ध्यान रखना और उन पे कंटिन्यूस रिसर्च वर्क करना कुछ काम का तो नहीं हुआ. लेकिन उन्होंने जो एक्सपेरिमेंट की वो जब उन्होंने उस फेयर में बताई तो दैट हैड समथिंग ग्रेट फॉर हिज प्रोजेक्ट. फॉर द नेक्स्ट ईयर ही ट्राइड द थियोरी दैट वाइसरॉय बटरफ्लाइज कॉपी मोनार्क्स, मतलब इमिटेट करना कि वाइसरॉय बटरफ्लाई वो हमेशा इमिटेट करते हैं, कॉपी करते हैं मोनार्क्स को. सो ही पुट फॉरवर्ड दिस थियोरी दैट वाइसरॉय बटरफ्लाइज लुक लाइक मोनार्क्स बिकॉज मोनार्क डू नॉट टेस्ट गुड टू द बर्ड्स एंड बर्ड्स लाइक टू ईट वाइसरॉयज. ये उन्होंने प्रूव किया, प्रूव तो नहीं किया, यू कैन से उन्होंने अपनी ये सोच, अपनी ये थियोरी प्रेजेंट की कि वाइसरॉय बटरफ्लाइज लुक लाइक मोनार्क्स because monarch don't taste good to the birds and birds like to eat viceroys. So the more the viceroy look like the monarch, the less likely it is that viceroy would be eaten by a bird. अब monarch और viceroy अगर बहुत ही similar दिखते हैं तो possibility ये रेज होती है कि viceroy कम खाए जाएंगे by the bird, क्योंकि bird किसकी तरफ मुड़ जाएंगे, monarch की तरफ उनको खाने. He wanted to show in his project that would a bird eat monarch or not. He found out that the sterling bird would prefer eating a monarch. Later research showed that the viceroys copied monarchs. This project won him the first division in the zoology department and the third overall position in the county science fair, where initially for the first time he had lost the competition. Now, during his second year of high school, Richard started a research from which he found about an unknown insect hormone that later helped him in his new theory about the life of cells as well. The question from where the research started was very simple as to what was the purpose of the 12 tiny gold spots on a monarch pupa. Now, अब second year high school में क्या हुआ? Richard ने एक research start किया from which he found about an unknown insect hormone जो बाद में उसकी न्यू थियोरी में भी हेल्पफुल हुआ और ये उसकी लेटर ऑन न्यू थियोरी थी अबाउट द लाइफ ऑफ सेल्स. अब क्वेश्चन ये था, द क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम वेयर द रिसर्च स्टार्टेड वाज कि व्हाट वाज द पर्पस ऑफ दोस 12 टाइनी गोल्ड स्पॉट्स ऑन मोनार्क प्यूपा. मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल सेड दैट द स्पॉट्स वर मेड फॉर मेकिंग इट लुक मोर डेकोरेटिव, बट डॉक्टर फ्रेडरिक डिड नॉट बिलीव इन व्हाट अदर्स सेड. And to find the answer to this question, that what was the purpose of these 12 tiny gold spots on monarch pupa was, उसका तो आंसर ढूंढना ही था. Ebright and another excellent science student together made a device that proved that these spots produced a hormone which was necessary for the development of a butterfly from a pupa. अब ये 12 टाइनी गोल्ड स्पॉट्स किस काम के हैं? तो ईब्राइट ने अपने एक एक्सेलेंट साइंस स्टूडेंट के साथ रिसर्च की, काफ़ी एक्सपेरिमेंट किए और प्रूव किया कि ये स्पॉट्स ऐसा हार्मोन प्रोड्यूस करते हैं विच इज़ अटरली इम्पॉर्टेंट, वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर अ बटरफ्लाई, राइट, फॉर द फुल डेवलपमेंट ऑफ अ बटरफ्लाई फ्रॉम अ प्यूपा, राइट. तो एक डेवलपमेंट, फुल डेवलपमेंट ऑफ अ बटरफ्लाई के लिए ये स्पॉट्स, गोल्ड के स्पॉट्स बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट हैं उनके लाइफ के लिए. विद दिस Ebright won the first prize at the county science fair and the entry to international science and engineering fair. There his project won third prize for zoology. He also got a chance to work at the entomology lab or laboratory of the Walter Reed Army Institute of Research. Great place, very honorable place. He continued his work with the monarch pupa as a high school junior, and that led him to win the first prize at the International Science Fair also. After winning the prize, he also got a chance to work at the Army Laboratory during summers. Then during his senior year, he tried one more experiment in which he grew cells from the monarch's wing in a culture and showed that cells would divide and develop into normal butterfly wing, that is wing scales, which provided that they were treated with a hormone from the gold spot. तो अब ये बटरफ्लाई के जो विंग्स डेवलप हो रहे थे या बटरफ्लाई खुद एक नॉर्मल बटरफ्लाई जो अच्छे से डेवलप हो रहा था, दैट वाज ऑल बिकॉज ऑफ दिस hormone that was released from the gold spots. And this research of his won the first prize at the international fair, and he spent his summer after graduation doing more and more research on this subject at the Army Laboratory and Laboratory of US Department of Agriculture. Then you can say he also worked some more on the hormone released from the gold spot, as we did just now during the following summers at the lab of agricultural department, and he identified that the chemical structure of the hormone using the lab special equipment. और उन्होंने आइडेंटिफाई भी किया इस केमिकल स्ट्रक्चर को, हार्मोन के केमिकल स्ट्रक्चर को, बाय यूजिंग द लैब स्पेशल इक्विपमेंट. आफ्टर 1.5 years he got the idea for his new theory which was about the cell life. The idea came to him when he was looking at the X-ray photos. अब 1.5 साल के बाद उनको आइडिया आई अबाउट अ न्यू थियोरी, और ये न्यू थियोरी की जो आइडिया थी दैट वाज रिलेटेड टू सेल लाइफ. और ये आइडिया कहाँ से आई? व्हेन ही वाज लुकिंग एट द एक्सरे फोटोज ऑफ द केमिकल स्ट्रक्चर of the hormone. He didn't get excited about his discovery as soon as he found out, but came to a realization. वो excite तो नहीं हुए initially, जब discovery हुई तो जब उन्होंने find out किया ये सब, तो कोई excitement नहीं थी उनके मुंह पे. But he came to a realization that his years of study on the insect hormone has solved one of the puzzles of biology. लेकिन एक्साइटमेंट की जगह पे क्या हुआ, उनको एक समझ आई कि आज तक जो लोग पजल थे बायोलॉजी में रिलेटेड टू द इंसेक्ट हार्मोन, वो उन्होंने पजल सॉल्व किया था. It has solved the mystery of how cells read the blueprint of his DNA. He found that as a DNA is in the nucleus of a cell that controls heredity, therefore it decides the form and function of a cell. Hence DNA is said to be the blueprint of life. That you also must be knowing, all of you, as a partly science student. Now further, then Ebright and his roommate made drawings and plastic models for the theory, which showed how it was possible, and later wrote a paper which explained the process. It did not surprise the people who knew him that he graduated from Harvard with highest honors and stood second in his class among 1510 students, right? तो Ebright और उसके रूममेट ने बहुत सारे ड्राइंग्स बनाए, प्लास्टिक मॉडल्स बनाए, and which showed that it was possible, how all this thing was possible, and also later wrote a paper which explained this whole process. However, लोग सरप्राइज नहीं हुए क्योंकि उनको तो सब पता ही था, and who knew him from his early days, and he then became a graduate student researcher at the Harvard University, also started doing practical experiments to test his theory. It was expected that if the theory proved to be correct, then it would be a big step towards understanding the complex, very confusing system of life, and also would lead to new ideas for preventing certain types of cancer and other disease. अब बहुत आगे उन्होंने एक्सपेरिमेंट्स की, रिसर्च किए, और ये एक्सपेक्टेड था कि इफ़ हिज थियोरी वुड प्रूव करेक्ट तो ये बहुत बड़ा स्टेप होगा साइंटिफिक वर्ल्ड में, राइट? और एक न्यू वर्ल्ड खुलेगा लोगों के लिए, न्यू आइडियाज़ मिलेगी टू प्रिवेंट सम टाइप्स ऑफ कैंसर एंड अदर डिजीज. So this showed how his research on the monarch pupa led him to a theory about cell life. He had been very keen, very eager, very much interested to the highest level in science ever since he started collecting butterflies. But this did not keep him away from his other interests in life. चलो साइंस में तो डीप रूटेड थे वो, बट दैट डजंट मीन कि लाइफ के दूसरे फील्ड में वो उनको इंटरेस्ट नहीं था. ही वॉज अ चैम्पियन डिबेटर, डिबेट करना, अ ग्रेट पब्लिक स्पीकर, अ गुड बोट रेसर, मतलब कैनोइस्ट कहते हैं उसे, एंड ही वॉज ऑल्सो एन ऑल राउंड आउटडोर स्पोर्ट पर्सन. ही लव्ड स्पोर्ट्स along with being an expert photographer. He was also great at capturing nature and scientific subjects. As he was a great student and always used to score good, he used to focus his extra energy on debating. तो great student तो थे ही, used to score good, तो ज़्यादा फोकस उन्होंने अपनी एनर्जी कहाँ पे ज़्यादा उन्होंने फोकस की थी, on debating and model United Nations Club. He also used to admire his social studies teacher and an advisor to both clubs, Mr. Richard Wellherer. Ebright thought that his teacher was the right person as he was the one who used to open his mind to new ideas. And his teacher was impressed with the fact that how Ebright would give an extra 3-4 hours of effort at night for the debate research, apart from his time that he used to give to his butterfly research and his other interests. तो टीचर्स उसके बहुत इम्प्रेस थे कि Ebright अपने रिसर्च के काम के अलावा he used to even give 3-4 hours at night extra effort he would put in for the debate research. He added that he was competitive but not in a bad sense. मतलब मैंने जब मैं एसएस करा रही थी तब भी मैंने वहाँ पे बताया था कि compete but with your own self. Competition होना चाहिए but not negatively. No jealousy and hatred and all those things. Compete for your betterment. Compete for your own progress. So he added that the teacher said that Ebright was competitive but not in a bad way, because he did not win to get prizes or for the sake of winning, but because he wanted to be the best at whatever he did. That is what makes a good scientist, and he needs a first-rated mind, अलॉन्ग विथ क्यूरोसिटी, तो दिमाग तो अच्छा होना ही चाहिए, उसमें क्यूरोसिटी ऐड कर लो, हार्ड वर्क ऐड कर लो, डिटर्मिनेशन ऐड कर लो, पैशन ऐड करो, लव ऐड कर लो, तब जाके यू रीच समवेयर इन लाइफ एट द टॉप मोस्ट पार्ट. एंड एन एडेड विल, इच्छा होनी चाहिए टू विन फॉर द राइट रीजन्स. Since that time, Richard's mother got him the book about migration of monarch. His curiosity towards science has just grown more and more and more. So, hope that you have understood this chapter. I have tried to present in form, in very easy form in front of you. Still, if any query, underline in a book, call me and ask, get the doubts clear. So thank you so much, and a short video will follow over here which will make the chapter still easier for you, right? A short story that always follows your English chapters. So take care, read the textbook, listen to this explanation from this video. Thank you very much. Take care.
Here is the summary of the story, The Making of a Scientist by Robert W. Peterson. Richard H. E. Bright, at the age of 22, stunned the scientific community with his innovative theory on cells. This article was published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Science. For Richard, this success started with butterflies. Richard E. Bright grew up in Reading, Pennsylvania. As an only child, E. Bright collected things like rocks, fossils, and butterflies to amuse himself. By second grade, E. Bright had collected all 25 species of butterflies found in Reading. E. Bright's interest in butterflies might have waned after the 8th grade had it not been for the book The Travels of Monarch X. The book charted the migration of monarch butterflies from the United States to Central America. At the end of the book, readers were invited to study butterflies and tag them for research. Inspired by the book, E. Bright decided to tag his own butterflies. However, the butterfly season in Reading was only 6 weeks, which made it difficult for E. Bright to tag many butterflies. So he decided to breed monarch butterflies in his basement. Then, in 7th grade, after losing in the county science fair, E. Bright learnt that real science was about experiments rather than displays. His competitive spirit was kindled, and he wrote to the author of The Travels of Monarch X, Dr. Urquhart, for ideas. In 8th grade, E. Bright tried to show that a species of beetles was responsible for a viral disease afflicting the monarch caterpillar. Though his project didn't yield tangible results, E. Bright did win an award for effort. In 9th grade, he tested the theory of how viceroy butterflies copy monarch butterflies for their survival. This time he achieved success in the county science fair. In high school, he thought of a simple question that would have life-changing implications for his career. Richard and a fellow science student worked on a device which would provide the answer to this question. This project gave him a chance to work at Walter Reed Army Institute of Research. It also got him an entry into the International Science and Engineering Fair. He continued working on this project, which won him the first prize at the International Fair and gave him a chance to work for the US Department of Agriculture. As a next step in the project, E. Bright grew cells from the monarch's wing to expand on his theory. Next summer, after completing his first year at Harvard University, Richard went back to the Department of Agriculture. He succeeded in identifying the hormone's chemical structure. Following this, he discovered how cells could read their DNA. Peterson states that if Richard manages to prove his theory, it will revolutionize the understanding of life and life's processes. While working on expanding this theory with his colleague James R. Wong, E. Bright also graduated from Harvard University. E. Bright, Peterson writes, not only is a gifted scholar, but also a debate champion, an all-round sportsperson, and an expert photographer. While competitive, Richard also believes in giving the best effort that he could. His scientific curiosity, coupled with an intelligent mind and a will to win, has given Richard every opportunity to become a brilliant scientist. Peterson believes this combination makes for an extraordinary scientist.